Hello everyone, welcome to Get Educational Series. So I'm GE. So in this space, we are going to talk about the application and also selection process. So from a previous educational video that recorded by Ronnie is that we actually have a understanding on what is talent planning and also how what we can do for the talent planning, and also by getting know uh, like for every the talent planning process is actually according to our it's actually related to organization structure and also the product sharing. So and from a previous email is previous educational space, we also touch about um, the picture of how our membership experiences look like throughout the recruitment process, and also to understand more on what kind of value proposition that we have in our recruitment process. Okay, so in this space we will go into detail on how to do it, because and also get to know all the tools and also the method that we are going to um used in the application and also selection process. So yeah, so we will start from application process. So as usual, application process we will have a national membership recruitment form. So in this form, as usual, we are going to let the LC to actually customize their own content, so that we actually it can be more aligned to the LC need and also the recruitment need for according to LC. So the thing is that if you like as so the thing is that, like usual, if you want to customize the form, you can actually ask come and approach me for the customization, and then request for the access right. Okay, so this will be the link that we are going to use for actually application process. So yeah, so like a very simple application process. Okay, so the thing is that after this, the next thing is about selection process. So for as mentioned by Ronnie in previous email, is that for this time we will have uh more more comprehensive assessment method in our selection process, like in order to help us to assess and also to select the right person, so that we can know actually we actually recruiting the right person that which is aligned with our um like organization value, and also at the same time the competence and also the skill set of the person that we are recruiting is not something that we neglect as well. So yeah, so for the selection process, these are the the overview of how the selection process is look like. So for the first thing first is that assessment center 1.0, which this is the method that we actually we will use, and the main thing is about to assess the behavioral and also the value of the candidate. So for in this space, I'm going to touch it later on. So yeah lor. And then the second one is assessment center 2.0, which is the part that the process that we will mainly focus on mainly focus in assessing the competence and also the skill set of the candidate. And also like in this space as well, the assessment center is actually designed based on functional need, which is it will be in a task or situational assessment basis. Okay, so the last thing is about individual interview 3.0. So in this individual interview 3.0 is a need, because it serves as a validation or verification on our previous on the output that we can get from previous assessment center 1.0 and assessment center 2.0, because it will be a very short interview. So mainly to understand about beside validation and verification, we will also understand about more personal on the more personal and also the commitment from the candidate as well. So like what does it mean by personal is that because some of the person they are like you have definitely you will have your own judgment towards the candidate from assessment center 1.0 and 2.0. So there's a time that you can actually verify again in a more personal way to understand more from the candidate, like whether to kind of like validate your own judgment. Okay, so another thing is that this will be the space that you can actually use to set the expectations to the to the candidate as well about either membership. Like for example, either membership is actually a 1 year commitment, and also at the same time to let them to know as well what are the commitment that they will need to put in. And then lastly is about like get a general sensing on the attendance to the upcoming induction conference. So yeah, so don't worry about like the time for these three things, like assessment center 1.0, and then I have 2.0, and then I have 3.0. So the thing is that ideally these three every process should be within 20 to 30 minutes only. So yeah, it will be a very like I would say the whole process is actually very worth for you to actually know to assess the candidate in a more comprehensive way. Okay, so yeah, so next we are going to talk about assessment center 1.0. So as mentioned previously is that it will be a team or a group base. So which mean like all the candidate will be work in a team or a group basis. Like they will undergo some of the activities that we will suggest later. So yeah, so I will just take one of the examples. So as you can see, there are a lot of like there are 2 to 3 case that I can that we actually provide for you. So it will be like kind of like a games or a example that you can refer to. So I will just take one of the example that I actually very familiar with, and is also a assessment center that I went through before. Okay, so yeah, so this is actually a group with or a group assessments that I went through before when I was members, when I want to join when I want to have a when I want to join Isaac. So the thing is that the interview is actually a 2 hour interview, and then like the first 30 minutes is actually the group assessment, and then the last the next 1.5 hour is actually an individual interview. So what I did in this group assessment session is that I actually like pair up with three other like the other three people, and then we will work in a group. And then the thing is that the interviewer, they actually show us the video, like this is exactly the video that they show to us. So the thing is that like the whole concept is not just about to solve the these riddles, but the thing is that what matter the most is the process on how the candidate behave throughout the process. So definitely like definitely if you want to have a group assessment, you will need to do a lot of preparation, like logistic coordination, like logistic requirements to prepare all the materials, and also at the same time to coordinate the candidate like in terms of their times and also the logistic. So the thing is that like throughout from this group assessment, I actually like have in a group with another 3 person. So the thing is that like everyone, each of us are actually assessed by one of the assessor that will observe our performance or observe our behavior like throughout the discussion. So after we watch the interview, after we watch the video, so we will need to kind of like to solve, like work together to solve the riddle. So I think the most important part is that until like throughout the discussion, I did, because I already nervous during that time, so I didn't actually like initiate the conversation or initiate the discussion. And the thing is that I literally playing a very passive role in the in the process. So the thing is that I only realized that the whole main idea is not about like solving the riddles or like to have a very good outcome about the problem that we will need to solve from this video. But the thing is that what matters the most is the process. So like what surprised me the most is when we actually end the discussion, and also I have a debrief from the assessor, then only I realized that in the 4 people, we actually have 2 of them, they are actually identical. So like they are literally playing another role as an assessor to to be involved themselves in the discussion with the candidate. So yeah, I think that's a very good experience that I went through when I was a member. Okay, so it's kind of like very surprising, but at the same time you can, what I realized is that I actually can as a candidate I can do better definitely. And also from an assessor, like standing in the assessor perspective, is that yeah, I can, through practical experience, I can actually understand this candidate better. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, I think that's it, like a little bit sharing on experience sharing on the assessment center that I went through before to observe my behavior and also and my value. So the thing is that we actually have a performance indicator, a list of performance indicator for this assessment center one. So definitely you will ask, hey, what are the things that we need to observe, and what are the things that we need to assess the candidate in assessment center one. So definitely like we actually have come out a list of performance indicator. So for examples, in assessment center one, the things that we want to find out from, we want to assess the candidate is mostly their communication skill, listening skill, and also the either Malaysia value, which is collaborative, ownership, and also proactive. So as you can see here, the performance indicator is the one that the indicator that show the positive side of how we define proactive. So for the negative side, negative indicator, which is the one that um is opposite from the performance indicator. So for here, you just as an assessor, definitely you can just like choose, or these are the things that you would need to observe from the candidate, like throughout the process. So, because this is the value that we are actually this organization is standing for, and also like communications skill and also listening skill are the basic skill that required by they're like when we work in a team or a group. So yeah, so just bear in mind that like this positive indicator and also negative indicator will serve as a tool or a like criteria that you can understand more before you actually go into the assessment central 1.0, so that you will have a better understanding on how you, like what are the things that you can assess from the candidate. Okay, so the next thing is about assessment center 2.0. So as mentioned before, assessment center 2.0 is actually a task or situational based assessment method to understand in order to assess the competence, and also to understand what kind of skill set this person is actually having. So like in terms of task and also situational based, is actually fully designed according to functional basis. So I will show you one example, because like we actually have quite a lot of example that we can use. I think, okay, let's choose Okay, so let's choose IGV, haha, my favorite. So the thing is that yeah, like this is the situation that we actually can like this is the task or situational assessment method that we situation met how to say the condition that is in task or situational condition. So the thing is that you can actually assess the candidates based on the profile and also the persona fit that chosen by this person in the application form. So the thing like there is a very general idea on how you can actually conduct the space, like for example, like first the agenda, like first 10 minutes I explain the instruction to the candidate, and yeah, to have a simulation and also feedback, and also give constructive feedback to the candidate, and also to observe as well, like if the candidate improve from the feedback. So the thing is that the things that we are looking for in from this candidate in this situation is that they are actually the candidate actually required to have a conversation simulation with the with one of the with John, which is a student from USA. So this whole situation is actually designed based on the possibility or a situation that might happen in OCYSP in IGV structure. So as you like definitely from throughout the process, you can have a better verification or validation on this person, like whether this person is actually suitable to be the OCYSP in IGV structure. And also before this assessment center 2.0, there are some preparation you need to prepare, which is project detail and also like profile and so background of John, which is our customer. So yeah, definitely same case as well. We are actually having a performance indicator for this IGV-OC-YSP persona. So like how same concept with assessment center 1.0 is that we actually have the positive indicator and also negative indicator. So this positive indicator and negative indicator is actually based on integrate and include, which is the persona that is able to fit in to which is the persona of this IGV-OC-YSP. So yeah, like it's a very customized base. It's a very customized persona or assessment method that we actually design for this position. So the thing is that you can actually um understand as well to have a better understanding of about the persona and what is meant by a positive indicator and a negative indicator under this persona. Okay, so another so there's a lot of other example that included in this education. So I think I will just proceed to the next thing, which is which is individual interview. Okay, so so as you can see that every function they have like every function and also every position that is in your like in organization or product structure, we actually have an assessment central example or the case that you can use. Okay, so um yep. So before we actually go into the individual interview, so we will talk about the feedback. So definitely you will have a lot of output that you can get, or like any kind of feedback towards the candidate throughout the assessment central 1.0 and 2.0 assessment process. So the thing is that like and also I actually get a lot of question or um feedback from previous recruitment as well, is that there are LCP or even the director or OCP of MRD, they actually come and ask me like how I can write like provide a very constructive feedback for the candidate, or like be it the one who actually will successfully pass the interview or the assessment process, or like be it the successful one or be it for the failed one. like the failed candidate. So the thing is that for now, we actually provide a so this positive and negative indicator, when we actually select the positive and indicator for under the situation for the candidate in assessment center. So in the end, this will become the feedback for the candidate for the assessment process. So yeah, so definitely that is a very good insight for us to know more in a more constructive and also more objective way, and also at the same time it will actually provide feedback to our applicants. So like it's a very fast process as well. Like we can actually in a very fast process we can actually compile all the quality that we observe and specifically give them insight for the space of improvement. So that for positive indicator is definitely what went well, and the negative indicator is definitely the even better if. Okay, so yeah, so next we are going to talk about. Okay, so I think I think this space I will just end here, because later on I will need to show you on how to use the interview assessment tool, and also the assessment tool, that assessment center tool that we actually have in Podium. So I think that's all. We will continue in next video. Okay, thanks.